Today I'm diving into a full review of Bank of Beirut UAE, sharing everything from the initial account opening process to day-to-day user experience with their services. Right off the bat, Bank of Beirut presents itself as a solid option for Lebanese expats and others in the UAE who are looking for a bank with regional familiarity and cross-border capability. Their site is fairly straightforward and clean, although not particularly modern or fast-loading compared to competitors. When I visited the website, the first thing I noticed was that the navigation can be a bit unintuitive. There are multiple redirects for simple actions, like viewing account details or exploring product options. It doesn't feel like it's built with the average user in mind, especially if you're accessing it from a mobile device. While the homepage does highlight their main services, such as retail banking, corporate solutions, and international transfers, the actual usability can be frustrating. The online banking login portal feels a bit outdated, both visually and functionally. Logging in requires several steps, and the interface isn't very responsive. Security-wise, they do include multi-factor authentication, which is a plus, but the overall experience lacks polish. If you're used to slick mobile banking apps or seamless dashboards, this one might feel clunky and overly rigid. Many useful links you can find in the description. Customer service is another mixed bag. There's a WhatsApp support option, which sounds great on paper, but response times are inconsistent. I tried to reach out during standard business hours, and still had to wait over an hour for a reply. When I did get a response, the agent was polite and reasonably knowledgeable, but it took a few rounds of back and forth to get a straightforward answer. There's also a contact form on the site, though it feels more like a placeholder than an actively monitored tool. Now, on to account options. Bank of Beirut UAE offers basic current and savings accounts, and while the fees aren't the worst in the region, they're not especially competitive either. There are monthly maintenance fees and minimum balance requirements that might not suit everyone, especially younger users or people trying to keep a lean banking footprint. Transfers, especially international ones, are a strong suit of the bank, and one area where they still seem to shine. They offer solid rates for remittances to Lebanon and other nearby countries, with fairly quick processing times. However, the lack of real-time tracking for these transactions feels like a drawback, especially when so many other banks offer transparent monitoring tools. Another point worth mentioning is the lack of English language depth across some of the pages. While major areas are translated, others are clearly copy-pasted or poorly localized, which might cause confusion for non-Arabic speakers. The mobile app exists, but is severely limited. Some features don't mirror the web platform, and the app hasn't been updated in quite some time. It functions, but just barely. As someone who relies on banking apps heavily, this is a definite downside. To sum it up, Bank of Beirut UAE does offer niche benefits, especially if you're dealing with Lebanon or looking for a bank that understands regional financial dynamics. But the overall user experience, tech ecosystem, and customer service need serious improvement to compete with the bigger players in the UAE banking sector. If you're someone who prefers in-person banking and needs specific international options, this could be a decent fit. But for digital-first users, or anyone expecting modern banking tools, it falls short in several key areas. Don't forget to like this video if it helped you, and subscribe for more honest reviews on banking, finance, and expat life in the UAE.